I got it. I read it. So very much. I look forward to it. It'll be a big thing.
So you guys,
Live stream mic test.
Lame or what?
Live stream check 1 2. Live stream mic test. Check,
I don't know. I sound like
check 1 2.
a lot of weed.
Live stream check 1 2. Second mic check 1 2.
All right, man. I'll do it, man.
no, say that shit. No, say
Live stream check 1 2. Mic test. Check 1 2. Live stream test check 1 2. Check.
I'm God. One guy. The last person I'll put up there is. Look at the statistics.
There we have them.
All right. And I'm being so serious. You are the last person I
No, you're not. That's bad.
No, I'm serious.
What do you think I would do? Good at?
As we speak. So thank you, Charles. We appreciate it. All right. Welcome, everyone. How's everyone doing? Did you get some tacos, hopefully, and enjoy the nice weather that we're now receiving from the spring, right? Recipients of the spring. My name is Robert Saldivar, Executive Director here of our District for Ed Services. Really just on behalf of our Board of Trustees and our district staff here, we appreciate you all taking the time to join us for our 5th and final LCAP session as we finish the process and get going with preparing for next year. I want to bring up to provide our official welcome, our superintendent, Mr. Michael B. Matsuda.
Thanks, Robert. So I think, as Robert said, the 5th time, you guys deserve the Perseverance Award, coming here, caring. It doesn't mean that everybody who's not here doesn't care. As you know, people are busy, they're working. I know there's multiple things going on tonight. But for 5 times to come here, parents, students, and teachers, and classified staff, and spend your evenings and really rolling up your sleeves and representing, knowing that you represent, all of our students and families, low income, and the EL populations, those populations that are marginalized, foster kids. People don't think about the foster kids, but we have probably a few hundred of them in our district, and you think about each of their stories, and I know that you come here because it's not just about you or your kid, but it's about all those kids who are marginalized out there. That's what the LCAP process was conceived to do, and so we appreciate your time and your energy and your commitment to our students, our 27,000 students. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Matsuda. And before we get started, I want to make sure we acknowledge Board President, Trustee Randall Trejo over in the back. If you could just wave hi. Thank you, Trustee Trejo, for taking the time to be here. We appreciate you. And just some housekeeping, just to check some items off the box and make sure that if the restrooms are, if you head towards the back and hang a right down the hall, then you hang a left and it's down that hall. We also have our interpretation services. Is that the correct word, interpretation? Yes? Okay. So if you need interpretation in Spanish, Korean, or Vietnamese, please head to the back table, and our wonderful ladies in the back are going to help with the devices that you need for that. Si ocupan el apoyo de traducir, o por favor, atrás tenemos los aparatos, okay? And for those of you that do have those devices, they're working, we're good? Thumbs up on that? Okay? Awesome. All right. Perfect. Okay, so before we get going here, we always love to start at our sites, at district gatherings, with checking in with our core, our vision, and our core values. Just to give a little bit of a context to how these were developed, we've had most of our sites. I think we need a couple more to go through their revisioning process, but most of our sites have been through the revisioning process. This work began years ago, pre-pandemic. Every year we would have a couple of sites go through it, and it would be an entire year, but you would start with the one full day of bringing together all of your educational partners, community members, parents, staff, students, district personnel to that site, and really having conversation and dialogue over what you want to see from your students who are going to be not only having the experience at your site, but also graduating from that site or matriculating from junior high to high school. And really the reflection was around what skills do we want them to come out of school with? How do we want to prepare them for college, for life, after high school, for careers? And in gathering all of that data, we had some themes surface from all of the conversations, some common themes that surfaced from all the data across the district. And we took that data from all of the different schools that had been through the revisioning process, and we were able to develop our vision and mission, which is, our vision is very simple: to create a better world through unlimited you. And then in our mission, you see, as a district in partnership with the greater community, we will graduate socially aware, civic-minded students who are life ready by cultivating the soft and hard skills. And hopefully you see all of this reflected in the work that we do, the LCAP included, in our values and our core values. As many of you, especially our students and our staff, are on our sites every day. And for everyone else, parents, guardians, family, community partners, when you're walking through our sites, hopefully you see these values and our vision and mission as being very evident as you're walking through our sites. Here are our core values, so taking just maybe a few seconds to review them and see which of these values is resonating with you, and maybe we can choose one to ground us in the work that we're going to do this evening and the meeting that we're about to embark into. And just what comes to mind for me, at least, is when we think of the LCAP and really the intention of the LCAP, I'm thinking of number 4 and moving the needle towards equity and justice, as we are being very intentional with how we spend our funds to support our families and our students, and in particular, those that the LCAP calls out, our low-income families and students, our foster youth, and our English language learners. Okay, moving on. Here's our social contract. Again, as you know, one of the professional learning opportunities that we provide to our staff across the district is that of capturing kids' hearts. It's an opportunity that we've been providing for many, many years, and it's probably, if you ask staff members that have been through it, it's very beneficial, and those are practices that they're able to bring back and immediately begin to implement into their classrooms and and in their spaces back at the sites, and even here in our space as a district. And one of those is developing a social contract, a set of agreements in terms of when we prepare for whether it's a class, whatever content area you're in as a student, or whether it's a meeting back at the site or here at the district, we ground ourselves in these agreements and in this contract. So ensuring that we give and accept grace, trusting the process, being focused and engaged in what's going on, and as you can see, the rest of them. So please take a few seconds to also review our social contract and maybe think of one that resonates with you to help ground you for the rest of this meeting or this gathering. Okay. How many of you guys are familiar, or let me see, how many of us have family or friends that belong to a different district? Raise your hand if you do. Hey, quite a few of us. So one of the requirements of that the state sets upon us as districts is when we go through the LCAP process is at a minimum to consult, with our educational partners, our families, our staff, our students. And so often what we see from from other LEAs is a survey that will be pushed out to the greater community, seeking input on different things that are going on with the district, and then that is usually used to produce the LCAP. Just in reflecting on our very robust process, which has been in place for quite a few years, we're very, very proud to have this process where we invite our entire community to come and be a part of this process. When looking at the numbers over the past few years, we've had over 400 participants, staff, students, parents, guardians, site and district personnel, community partners, engage in this process. Take the time, set aside the time to come to these gatherings, 5 during the year, all in the second semester, during a very, very busy time of the year. And so we just really want to show a lot of gratitude, as Mr. Matsuda said, for you, for the commitment to this process, to our process. As we know, it's going above and beyond the call of duty, and we appreciate you taking ownership and really being genuinely involved. Okay, so we definitely want to acknowledge quite a few folks that have been a big part of a lot of things, from the logistical planning to being a part of the steering committee, the LCAP steering committee, and to everyone that's here in this space. We always invite, as a part of our steering committee, we want to make sure that there's a representation from all of our unions, and all of our different folks that are a part of this space, which we call our district. So AFSCME, ALTA, APGA, ASTA, CSCA, DLAC, MMA, PTA, and OCO, one of our community partners, all every year receive the invite and typically always have someone at the table meeting on a monthly basis in preparation for this process and providing input and helping to guide this process. We also have a student, 1 to 2 students are always involved. Our ambassadors, if our ambassadors can please stand up so we can recognize our ambassadors. They're all seniors, obviously, and we're learning now. This is the time of the year where the excitement is kicking in. They're about to graduate. What's the countdown, guys? What are we down to? How many days?
6 days.
6 days. 6 days. And we're hearing about all the great places, the universities and that they've been accepted to. I'm hearing Berkeley, UCSD, Cal State Fullerton, and just, it's obviously exciting. So think about how busy we all are, right? And how busy our seniors are. And to devote all of this time to be a part of this process is commendable. So again, thank you guys. We truly appreciate you and a lot of gratitude and for you guys. And again, good luck moving forward. We're excited for you. 6 days left, right? Okay. We also have our Ed Division. If you can raise your hand. If you are a part of Ed Division, please raise your hand up high. And thank you all for your support. Our Ed Division folks are a part of a lot of different things, from the logistical planning piece to, the committee, the steering committee, to facilitating our focus groups. And so thank you for all of your efforts as well and your commitment. HR, always supporting as well. Information technology, IT, Eric and your team. Thank you so much. Our student support services, for always being supportive as well. Special Youth Services, our superintendent's office, John Bautista, our PIO, for the work that he does to capture this and make it available to everyone else. And then if you are a site staff member, please stand up. Site staff, admin, teachers, counselors, please stand up. Thank you. I want you to think about, we are, with all of our classified and certificated, we have well over close to 2,000, maybe more staff. And the folks that commit to this process, again, out of taking all that time out of your busy schedules that you already do have and committing to this is again, super grateful and appreciative for you guys as well. If you are a parent, guardian of one of our students, please stand up. Parent, guardian. Thank you to all of you as well. Again, we have 27,000 students, so think about how many parents and guardians we have across the district, and look at who's here in this space. So again, a lot of gratitude towards all of our parents and guardians as well. We're very appreciative. If you are a community partner, do we have our community partners here today? I know they've been a part of the process. I'm not sure if they're here today. Okay, do we have any community partners here today? Cal State Fullerton? Nope. I know. Oh, we got Maritza, there you go, from OCO. Thank you, Maritza. Who else? Maritza from OCO, and I know we've also had CSUF and UCI and the city of Anaheim, and I know they've been in at most of our gatherings as well, so indebted and really a lot of gratitude for them as well. And then, of course, if you're a student, will you please stand up? Thank you, guys. I mean, again, 27,000 students. 27,000 students. And, we are, again, we just a true role model and inspiration to us. And you continue to inspire the work that we do collectively as a community. So very appreciative and a lot of gratitude to our students as well. Okay. So I lost a clicker. Where did it go? Oh, in my pocket. Thank you. All right. I didn't lose a clicker. All right. So what I'd like to do now is introduce Dr. Hernandez. You all know Dr. Hernandez. She's the brains behind all of this. So I'm going to have her come up, and let's give her a huge round of applause. Dr. Hernandez, one of her many responsibilities is the LCAP process itself and the actual document, which is how many pages? A little over 98, not too many pages, right? Of just putting all of this data into it, all the recommendations year after year, the numbers, and all of the data that goes into it. So a lot of work during this time for her, as well as helping to plan and organize this event. So again, thank you to Dr. Hernandez, and I'm going to hand the mic over to her as she's going to take over from here. Thank you.
Thank you. So I also want to start off this afternoon with thanking all of you for staying the course, like Superintendent Matsuda said, and investing your time and input in this robust LCAP process. I'm always truly grateful to share this important space with you. In the spirit of collaboration and continuous improvement, we always look to refine our process. Is it perfect? No. But with your input, we believe that we can continue to modify it to meet the needs of our community. So the LCAP provides a structured opportunity for us to align our resources with the priorities that matter most to our community. As our superintendent stated at the launch of our LCAP season, this process is not just about budgeting. It's about ensuring that our investments reflect our collective values and aspirations for our students' futures. And I believe that that's what we have accomplished during this process. I would be remiss if I did not remind us, however, that while these funds offer a unique opportunity to enhance our educational programs, they cannot be used to supplant services that are fundamental district obligations. This distinction ensures that our initiatives drive forward our mission, our vision, and our core values while addressing the assets, needs, and aspirations of all of our students, but specifically with an emphasis on our low income, our foster youth, our English learner plurilingual students, which the LCAP guides us to prioritize. Tonight, we are happy to unveil, with the input that you all provided through the focus group meetings and the LCAP goals survey, our new and revised LCAP goals. After that, we will move into having our student representatives who also committed and invested time into participating in the 5 focus groups to come up and read the recommendations that were developed within those focus groups. Before we do that, I do want to remind us that the input process is about building consensus, and it's not a vote. The recommended actions help establish district priorities, which are presented to our Board of Trustees. And finally, the recommended actions included in the LCAP cannot and do not take the place of negotiations in our bargaining processes. Let's see if I could move. So we're gonna unveil the goals. So I want to thank Jasenia Vera, our district librarian, for helping us with this graphic. So thank you so much for sharing those skills with us. So these are our AUHSD LCAP goals, and I'm going to read them to you. Goal 1, through a whole child approach, all students, with specific attention to our district students who are low income, foster youth, and EL plurilingual, will be college, career, and life ready by successfully demonstrating 21st century skills, youth voice and purpose, and technical skills. Goal 2, through a community schools approach, co-create and provide meaningful, culturally and linguistically responsive educational opportunities for all parents and families to advocate for the assets and needs of all students, with a specific attention to our district's students who are low income, foster youth, and EL plurilingual. And goal 3, provide and nurture a safe, positive, and inclusive school culture that is responsive to the assets and needs of all students, with specific attention to our district's students who are low income, foster youth, and EL plurilingual. So thank you for your input. In the goal survey, we asked, do our current goals still meet and address our mission, vision, core values? Overwhelmingly, the responses were yes. However, with the themes that were generated, there were some added language that was emphasized, and we hope that it's reflected in these goals, which our steering committee worked collaboratively to refine so that we can present them to you this afternoon. In addition, in collaboration with our LCAP steering committee, we worked in refining the focus group recommendations that each of our groups submitted. It's important to note that the following revisions were made. So important student groups, again, are low income, foster youth, and English learner plurilingual students were added in the recommendations that made reference to all students. Training and professional development was changed to professional learning throughout the recommendations, just to allow consistency in the language that we use throughout the district. For recommendations that mentioned hiring of staff, the following was added as funding permits, so that we can be honest and transparent with our abilities and potential limitations. Recommended actions for lowering class size provided by Group 1 and 4 were consolidated with Group 2's class size reduction modification of LCAP Action 1.10. And for Group 3's recommended action for a special education advisory committee, the district identified the Greater Anaheim SELPA as our advisory committee. Our director of SYS is committed to work closely and collaboratively with our families and our Family and Community Engagement Office to ensure that the information disseminated in these meetings reaches the parents of students with disabilities as appropriate. And while our district is able to select board members of CAC and allow them to be appointed, any family of students with disability can participate and is welcome to attend these meetings with the Greater Anaheim SELPA, and we hope to continue to work closely in collaboration with our parents and Greater Anaheim SELPA to ensure that this communication is provided to them and we continue to grow in this area as a community. At this time, it is my distinct pleasure to begin to call up our students who participated in our LCAP process. They will go over the state priorities and then go ahead and read the LCAP recommendations that were developed from their specific groups. So I'm going to ask our students to come up and join me, those of you that are presenting slides, and we can start with Focus Group 1. I am going to ask our students to go ahead and share their name, their grade, and the school that they're joining us from.
Good evening. My name is Lauren Reel, and I'm a junior at Anaheim High School. So I was part of Group 1, which was basic services. Our focuses were to review the rate of teacher misassignment, the access to standards aligned materials, and to review our facility if our facilities are in good repair. So we came up with 2 recommendations, our first being to increase the proficiency for students and staff in using technology for educational purposes and preparing students for life after graduation. The district will research and purchase tools that all students have access to, such as connectivity and devices, as well as implement proper professional learning for the tools to maximize their effectiveness. Our second recommendation was for student administrators, faculty, facilities and maintenance staff, and community volunteers to implement a comprehensive plan to upgrade and maintain school facilities. This includes repairs, renovations, and necessary improvements to ensure a safe and healthy learning environment. which is crucial for the academic success and well-being for all students, including low-income, foster youth, and English learners. Upgrading facilities demonstrates a commitment to equity and enables students to thrive. Thank you.
Thank you. If we can have our student representatives from Group 2.
Hello, everyone. My name is James Castillo. I am a senior that goes to Catella High School. I'm also the student ambassador of Catella High School, and I'm here to represent Group 2, which is state standards, pupil achievement, course access, and other pupil outcomes. So these include performance standards, standardized test scores, evidence of college career readiness, pupil enrollment in broad course of study, pupil outcomes in the broad course of study as well. And some of our recommendations are, number one, the district will continue its efforts to increase the number of school counselors as funding permits to support academic development to ensure all students, including low-income, foster youth, and EL plurilingual students are aware of and meet the A through G requirements. Learn about possible post-graduation education, receive personalized academic guidance, and support to ensure that all students are college and career ready. Number two, the Plurilingual Services Department will provide district-wide EL plurilingual professional learning support for all teachers, not just ELD teachers, and plurilingual instructional aids. The strategies will benefit all students as well. Based on available funds and site needs, more BIAs will be hired to provide the necessary support of our plurilingual newcomer students. Number three, this one's a modification to Action Plan 1.10. The district will continue its efforts to reduce class sizes, retain teachers, and offer professional learning that increases student engagement and improves the teacher's ability to address the assets and needs of all students, with specific attention to our district students who are low income, foster youth, and EL students as funding permits. Thank you very much.
And now a representative from Group 3.
Good afternoon, everyone. Buenas tardes a todos. My name is Madison Romero. I am proudly Anaheim High School Student Ambassador for the 2023-2024 school year, and I'm a senior, but you guys already knew that, so let me get started. So I'm representing Group 3, Parental Involvement, efforts to seek parental input in decision-making, promotion of parent participation. So our three recommendations were the district will appoint parent representatives to the Greater Anaheim Special Education Local Plan Area, GASE-LPA, Community Advisory Committee, and disseminate information gathered in those meetings to all parents of students with disabilities as appropriate. Hire faces assigned to represent special education parents at all schools as funding permits. The second one is the district will revamp Parent Leadership Academy, which will include placement of parents on committees, professional learning for parents, parent training to recruit and engage parents to present to the school community. The third one is the district and school sites will work collaboratively to ensure the availability of interpreters in multiple languages to enhance on-site family and community engagement, IEPs, and other parent communication. Thank you.
And finally, Group 4.
Hi, everybody. My name is Carlos Ramirez. I am a 10th grader at Anaheim High School.
Good evening, everybody. It's nice seeing you guys here. My name is Guillermo Castro. I'm a current sophomore at Anaheim High School. Go Big A. And today I wanted to announce our Group 4 project. It was, I am here representing Group 4 on behalf of us. Our group focused on pupil engagement and school climate and looked over the areas of attendance rates, dropout rates, graduation rates, chronic absenteeism, suspension rates, and the sense of safety and connectiveness.
I will be discussing Group 4's LCAP recommendations. So we had two. Our first one is teachers and school site staff will attend professional learning yearly provided by the district, focused on social, emotional, mental health, low-income foster youth, EL, plurilingual, student groups to ensure lesson design and classroom environments are culturally engaging and relevant for students. And our second recommendation is the district will continue its efforts as funding permits to allocate staffing, social workers, counselors, FACES, community school coordinators for every site specifically to support foster youth and low-income McKinney-Vento students to provide transportation, mentoring programs, supplies, mental health services, and care coordination with student agencies. Thank you.
Thank you. Again, one more time, if we can just give our students a round of applause. So not only did they have the courage to come up here and read these recommendations out to close to 200, 300 people, but they committed and invested their time and energy in this process. And so we are happy to have them as part of this decision-making process. So thank you to our students. So now, this is a process that we've had for several years. And again, this is just a consensus-making mechanism. So many of you should have been provided with a unique individualized code. I don't believe this year we used a 5-digit word, but you may have received a numeric code. It's unique to you. So we do ask you that at this time, you take the time to scan the QR code or type in that bit.ly, and you will be able to select your top 3 recommendations. These will be unduplicated recommendations that you will be able to select. And then we will give you some time to do that. I don't know how to select that timer. You're also doing it. We do have them in the front where you checked in, and you'll be able to go ahead and get it there. Is anyone missing an individualized code? No.
It's better than last year, but it is still, should read it here. Table.
Okay, thank you, everyone. So we're going to continue with our slides for this evening, if I can have everyone's attention. So while they're calculating the tallies, which we'll be able to show you, I do want to make use of this time, and we are going to start with two presentations. One will be from one of our parents and parent leaders, and then we will culminate with one of our student soapbox speech finalists. So right now, I am proud to invite one of our parent leaders. She is a parent of students at Dale Junior High School and Gilbert High School, Mrs. Sandra Casares. We can give her an applause. Mrs. Casares is also a parent leader with OCO. And just so you know, OCO is a community organization that partnered with us to ensure that our parents have a space to be able to engage in dialogue and a greater in-depth understanding of this process. So they didn't only commit to 5 days, they committed to 10 days of LCAPing. So kudos to our parents. Talk about staying the course. So we asked Ms. Sandra Casares to tell us about her LCAPing experience and why she believes it has been of value. So with no further ado, Ms. Casares.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. First of all, thank you guys for the opportunity to be here. LCAP is something that it's humongous and it's hard to understand. And you guys are allowing us as parents to be part of it and letting us be and help that change for our students to help their schools. We are that voice of other parents that cannot be here, and LCAP allows us to do that. I'm so glad that you guys came in collaboration with OCO, because OCO helped us also debrief and understand a little bit more of LCAP. LCAP has a lot of information. I do have to give one feedback, and it's like, at times it felt rushed. It felt like we were rushed, we were introducing paperwork, and it's something new to us that we don't understand. And we had really good people at tables that were able to kind of help us understand. We were getting it at time's up. So I think that maybe for next year or the future, if we can get paperwork ahead of time for the parents, so we can come to the table with questions, and at least we can incorporate a little bit faster, it will be greatly appreciated. But other than that, I am grateful and thankful. LCAP has taught me a lot to see the needs of other schools, not just my students, but all the other schools, and to be able to be that person that I can tell other parents, hey, we have this program, there's these resources, and this is how we can help. So thank you for opening the door for us, and I appreciate it.
Once again, thank you, Mrs. Casares. Thank you to our parents and families that stayed the course with us this whole time. And thank you to OCO for partnering with us and providing that leadership. We did have a conversation with our steering committee, and we have committed to start LCAPing earlier and not waiting until the spring. So we want to make LCAPing a year-round thing, so we will be seeing more of each other to ensure that the process does not feel rushed. Like I said earlier, it is a process of continuous improvement, and we look to continue to grow in the process with all of you. So thank you again, Mrs. Casares. Now I would like to bring up one of our Kennedy High School students. She was a finalist in our AUHSD soapbox speeches. It is always our goal and purpose to elevate student voice, which is why we think it's so profound and important to have our students participate and share with us in our greater community. So Sophia Fung, she's a student at Kennedy High School. She's currently an 11th grader, and she was one of our third place finalists in our AUHSD soapbox. We are so happy that she is joining us today, and Mom is here with us. So thank you and welcome, and I will now hand it over to Sophia Fung.
Hi, my name is Sophia. I'm a junior at Kennedy High School. I'll be presenting my speech to the problem with political polarization, which I think is an issue that really applies to every community, so I'm grateful for the opportunity to speak about it tonight. When you hear that someone is a Democrat or a Republican, you probably form an automatic opinion of them. Either you'll get along or you won't. And when it comes to politics, you're not alone. A lot of us are starting to adopt this black and white view. Political polarization is the increasing divergence in political attitudes, away from the center and towards ideological extremes. It's reflected in the increasing inability of conservatives and liberals to compromise, the increasing unwillingness to even interact with members of the opposing party. We're becoming less able to communicate, to respect each other, and this affects not only our politics, but our communities and individual relationships as well. Political polarization has been on the rise for decades. Political violence is at a 25-year high. The more time goes on, the more divided we get. And with elections coming up, it's a bigger concern than ever. A recent national survey found that 25% of Americans say that they may need to resort to political violence in the upcoming election in order to save the country, and that they believe the democracy of our country is at risk. This may be true, but it isn't because of any one particular party. It's the increasing extremism of both sides that's truly threatening our democracy. The issue is that we each see the opposing party as being so fundamentally different from ourselves, when that's really not the case. When asked about core values, including fairness, compassion, and responsibility, 9 in 10 Democrats and Republicans agree that they are extremely important. And yet, only about 1/3 of either group said they believed the same would be true of the opposing party. Not only are we disagreeing, we're seeing each other as cruel, ignorant, devoid of the fundamental values that, in fact, most of us share. It's not that we don't have our differences, but we need to be able to overcome them so we can work on addressing the issues that affect all of us. The economy, the environment, healthcare, these issues are often labeled as liberal issues or conservative issues, but the truth is that they don't affect any one party. All of these issues affect everybody, red or blue. We need to be able to work together to fight these problems rather than just fighting each other. This may seem like an insurmountable problem, but the solution is actually quite simple, and it starts with you. Your task is this. Next time you talk to someone you disagree with, don't dismiss them. Listen to them. Really hear what they have to say. Maybe ask questions to gain insight into their perspective. You may not have your mind changed, but even if you don't, you'll walk away more open-minded, having seen them for who they are, not just a Democrat or a Republican, but someone you can get along with and respect despite that. Maybe a neighbor or a sibling or a friend. Someone that you can still communicate with despite differing opinions. If everybody in the world could do this, our communities would become much less divided. and we'd be able to work together towards living up to the high ideals that our nation was founded on. Thank you.
So amazing, Sophia. Thank you again for sharing your soapbox speech. I think there's many lessons to be learned with what you said tonight. And we truly feel that the LCAP process is a unifying process. So we hope that you feel that as you joined us in these 5 sessions. So once again, big applause to you, Sophia. And thank you. So I believe we do have our results. And I will hand it over to Mr. Saldivar, and he will walk us through the results and then close us out for this evening.
Thank you again, Dr. Hernandez. We have, so these are live results. Keep in mind that we had 400 participants, give or take a few, join us over the last 5 sessions. And so we're still going to give those folks that weren't able to be here tonight a chance to provide input on their top recommendations. So something will be going out to those folks, and we're hoping in the coming weeks to have those recommendations as well. But as it stands now, where's Mr. Koo? Where's Charles? Oh, there he is. Okay. Do you remember what were the results? I mean, how many folks? I think we're at about 150. Okay, so 150 of you. So it's about what's in the room, right? Provided input. The top 3 so far is Focus Group 2, recommendation number 3. Focus Group 4, recommendation number 2, and Focus Group 4, recommendation number 1. So let's take a look at what those are. 146 responses is what was Mr. Cruz telling me. So Focus Group 4, recommendation 1, teachers and school site staff will attend professional learning yearly, provided by the district focused on social, emotional, mental health, low income, foster youth, EL, plurilingual student groups to ensure lesson design and classroom environments are culturally engaging and relevant for students. I want you to think about our community school work that we've been doing across the district and how beautifully that aligns with those efforts. Focus Group number 4, recommendation number 2, the district will continue its efforts as funding permits to allocate staffing, social workers, counselors, FACES, community school coordinators for every site specifically to support foster youth and low-income McKinney-Vento students, to provide transportation, mentoring programs, supplies, mental health services, and care coordination with outside agencies. And Focus Group 2, recommendation number 3, it's a modification to Action 1.10. The district will continue its efforts to reduce class size, retain teachers, and offer professional learning that increases student engagement and improves the teacher's ability to address the assets and needs of all students, with specific attention to our district's students who are low-income, foster youth, and EL plurilingual students as funding permits. All right. Okay, so again, 146 of you have provided your recommendations. We will send out to those that weren't able to be here today to give them an opportunity as well. And then add the date. That's, I believe, our next slide, correct? We will then, next steps for this process is we will be presenting to the board at the June 6th board meeting, so if you can join us, okay? We'll have our final results at that point and with the top 3 recommendations. And then adopted by the board at the June 13th board meeting. Now, if you're not able to join us, feel free to log in as again, Mr. John Bautista will be able to provide that opportunity for you to see it virtually as well, okay? So those are our next steps. And to end, going back to what Sophia commented on, you know, we heard a lot about bringing folks together, democracy. We heard about compassion and kindness. And when we think of those things, what I'm sure many of us think of is the word love, right? The love is seen in many different forms. And one of the forms that you see love is in the service that we give to our community, by showing up to spaces like this, by committing to the time that this takes to be able to be present for 5 different sessions, being at your site, supporting our students, supporting our families supporting our districts, our school sites. And there's from Khalil Gibran, a saying that has stuck to, at least for me, has always resonated with me, where work is love made visible. So we appreciate all of the work, all of the efforts and support that you provide to our district. And as we continue to work on coming together for the benefit of our students and families, just know that that is the true essence of love. So thank you again, and enjoy the rest of your evening. We appreciate you all. One last thing. Sorry, really quick. As you're leaving, the ladies that have the black sweaters on, there are support staff here at the district and have been working not only for this event, but for all of the other district events that we have had in planning logistics and, getting the folks that are out there, the taco cart that was sponsored by our foundation, and making sure that they're showing up and just doing everything and sending out the messages, the reminders, and just coordinating everything. So please, as you leave, give them a nice, huge thank you, and happy Mother's Day to all of the moms that are here, and to all of us that have our moms. All right. Have a great week. Have a great rest of your evening, everyone. Thank you.